Tone, I'm in a jam. Remember I was telling you how my second cousin Bobby asked me to invest in his vape business in Wooddale up by the airport? Well, I did. The guy he was doing it with, some friend of his from high school he went to Proviso East with, right, manages a 7-Eleven. What they were doing was taking all the expired chewing tobacco in a dip, and they were just soaking it in olive oil and doing counterfeit vape cartridges. I didn't even know this stuff. And on top of that, this guy, Bobby's friend, he's in with these Serbian gangbanger guys. And so they're getting looked at for some other stuff. They're looking at Bobby, and now they're looking at me. And it's just, I'm in a bad situation, okay? So I put everything in my son's name, and I'm over here at Peter Francis Geraci's law office in the old Taco Bell on Cicero, and I'm doing a bankruptcy case, Chapter 11, hopefully insulating myself from this stuff. So I appreciate you letting me do the ads real quick. And remember, just wire me the money for this into my son's account, okay? Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of classes and users worldwide. You could go on there and learn all kinds of new creative skills. It's amazing for entrepreneurs, artistic people, creatives, and for personal enrichment. I did how to build a magical terrarium with Kelly Newbury. I learned how to pick out the mosses and the plants and whatnots. It was very peaceful, and you could use our code down there and get a free month. Okay, take care, bye.
Okay, I guess we could do this here. So, welcome to another episode of Crime Pays, but Bonnie doesn't. I was here in Junction, Texas, beautiful Junction, Texas, nice little town. I came here for the farmer's market because I had to get some goddamn coffee, you know, and I had a line of like 30 slobs in front of McDonald's. No offense to anybody who does go to McDonald's. I don't know why you'd want to eat that shit. I just go there for coffee. But anyway, the short end of the story is I couldn't go there and get coffee. There's nothing else, so I came here. The coffee cart in town was at the farmer's market, so I came here. Anyway, there were a bunch of black vultures hanging out here earlier, okay, which they're filthy sex perverts, that species. I don't know if you know them, but you got to watch out for them. But some kids just scared them away. You can see there's still a couple. Yeah, they're all swarming up there. Beautiful bird, just really, really nasty. You know, you should see the stuff they eat, too. It's pretty gross. Anyway, we are right on the 100th meridian, which in North America is where you start to go from humid climates to drier ones. It's where the climate begins to dry out. And as the climate continues to change from all the shit we're pumping into it, the CO2, the heat trapping gases, that line, that 100th meridian line, that line of where, you know, the climate starts to dry out, it's supposed to move a little east. So I figure we come out here and we'd see, you know, what it looks like in the transition zone from humid to the arid west. So let's check it out. Okay, we'll start with this native member of the grape family, Amphilopsis cortada. You can see these tiny flowers right there. The ants are going nuts on there. Oh, these are post-mature flowers. Let's see if we can find some, there you go. And those leaves are so glabrous and waxy. So native grape, it's a native member of the grape family, Vertescence. There's those flowers, you can see those little anthers, little yellow anthers. 5 petals, 5 sepals, together in a little umbel or a cyme. Leaves are alternate. Leaves can be big. Can be small. Cortada, because they look like a heart. There you go. You can see it's doing very well here in its riparian. You got your Baccharis erythroides down there too. That thing, that's a fucking great plant. Remember the Asteraceae. Remember the coyote bush genus. Covered in flowers when it's going off. Looks kind of boring now, but it's covered in pollinators in the fall. What are you doing on it? Come on, we're going. Let's go. And then right here you got a true walnut, okay? A walnut that looks like a walnut. Juglans microcarpa. Microcarpa, because the carpa is micro. See, it's tiny. You got a tiny fruit over there. Hey, fuck you too, dog. He's just, you know what? That dog's like all of us. He's just suffering on the inside and gets a little aggressive as a result of it, you know? Anyway, so there's those tiny fruits. You look at a dimpling on it too. Tiny little walnuts, ooh, tiny little poly walnuts. And of course the leaves got that bitter smell to them. But again, see how they're not exactly opposite though. See, they're slightly alternate. And a different leaf shape. And again, you just crush them up and, oh, it doesn't smell nice. So it's like a desert adapted walnut. Another indication, see those smaller leaves, that we're starting to get into the drier climate. Because smaller leaves are a good adaptation to an arid climate. Not much humidity, Want to reduce your surface area so you're not transpiring too much moisture out of the stomates. Of course, this beautiful bastard, this beautiful sage, you know, flowering all over the roadsides in late April, early May in Texas. Salvia Farancia. You can see this guy's still going. Got pretty odd leaves for a salvia. See, not just two leaves opposite each other. You got quite a few all clustered together. It's still opposite, like most members of this order, Lamiales, the order of bilaterally symmetrical flowers. Okay, with many families in it. But again, these leaves are small. So, you know, that's another good indication we're starting to dry out a little bit. And look at those beautiful flowers. See, they got that lower lip, perfect landing pad for a bee. Then you got that hood, those two fused petals up top forming that fuzzy hood. And of course, when it's done, the corollas just fall out, and you got the calyxes left over. And 2 to 4 seeds inside. Then we got this guy. Member of the genus Verbicina. We're at the southwest end of this guy's range, okay? Verbicina Virginica, okay? Because it grows in Virginia too, all right? I think so. I didn't check that. I haven't been to Virginia in 18 years, but I would take it this grows. Virginica is just a good, if you see Virginica in a species name, which is a good indication it's from the eastern United States. Kind of like Occidentalis. How do we know this is Verbicina? You see those, we know this is a Verbicina because you get those little wings on its stem, and anytime there's just a look to asteraceous leaves. I don't know how to describe it, but you see leaves like that without an inflorescence. The inflorescence gives it away. It's Asteraceae. So you can still see those capitula, those flower heads, leftover phyllaries on that involucre up there. But anytime you see leaves like this, and especially if you're in like North America somewhere, okay, Mexico, that happens a lot. I'll see leaves that just gotta look to them. Just the zeitgeist to them, and I just know it's Asteraceae, even if I haven't seen a flower yet. And only about 1 out of 10 times I'm wrong with that. Maybe a little bit more, but either way, asteraceous leaves. But most importantly, it's Verbicina because you got that wing on that stem. See those winged stems? Nice. Won't be flowering until the fall. Oh yeah, see, here's that Begonias Speciosa again, and there's those 3 carpelled fruits. Just split and open. They looks like they just matured. So you could take those seeds, and they feel like they got some weight to them, and germinate them. You got quite a few right there. And this is a great landscape plant. Pretty hardy, pretty indestructible, and the deer seem to leave it alone too. Look at how green it is here. Anyway, now this is a plant that's endemic to Texas. It's a member of the genus Brackelia, which is in the same tribe of the sunflower family as Stevia. This is Brackelia dentata. And it's somewhat rare, but you can see it's thriving here. And like many Bracchelias, the leaves are covered in glands. So look at those leaves up close. You can see all the glands and juicy hairs on them. You touch those leaves, and they smell quite pleasant. They're almost kind of sticky, and they smell quite pleasant. And then, of course, it's not flowering now, but when it does flower, you can see it's got these, roughly 4 to 5 foot tall spikes that come up. It's just covered in Brackelia flowers with the long styles, which is a trademark of tribe Eupatoriae, the Joe Pyeweed tribe, the Stevia tribe, etc. It's a quite beautiful plant. This is definitely a plant, more Texans should grow in their goddamn gardens. I mean, anywhere where you got, a climate that gets summer rain but is also seasonally dry. You can see those shoots are just, look at that. See those shoots? They're just like these imbricate little rads, imbricate little green rods of overlapping leaves. Look at it, what a banger. Too bad it's not flowering, but the Bracchelias tend to flower pretty late in the season. There's the spent involucres and phyllaries. Oh, now this is nice. These weren't open. I was just here an hour ago. I've been dicking around here for a long time. These flowers were not open an hour ago. So they opened up as the day got hotter, and it's starting to get kind of hot. Beautiful. It was beautiful earlier, but now it's starting to get kind of hot. Anyway, this is Indigo Farah Lindheimeriana, and it's almost a Texas endemic. You can see there's those stamens right there. You get it in northern Mexico too. That the petals fell off on this one. All this stuff is that banner petal, but it's in the pea family, obviously, specifically the pea subfamily Faboideae. You can see those 2 red wings enclosing that keel, kind of sandwiching that keel, that banana-shaped keel. It's got the 10 stamens and the ovary in it, and you got that calyx, and you got that posterior banner petal, with the little yellow striations on it and hairs on everything. Again, those tiny hairs are a good indication that as we move west, it's starting to dry out, okay? And then of course you go, you know, all the way west to California, you get a completely different rainfall regime. Okay, summer dry, winter rain. Anyway, Indigo farah, pretty species-rich genus, found I believe all over the world. I just saw some in South Africa, right on the Namibian border. I mean, they're all over South Africa, but there was a new species that's being named right on the Namibian border. And you know, anyway, this is Texas's version of it. Okay, so this guy right here is a member of the Gentian family, Gentianaceae. This is a member of the genus Zeltnera. There's quite a few species in the genus, especially if you're on limestone in central Texas, Edwards Plateau area, and what this shit. 5 distinct pink petals, and then get up close and look at those flowers. Look at those weird anthers. Kind of curly-Q, spirally. You got that little white center to that flower right there. And then, of course, you got that bifid stigma poking off to the northwest right there. Pretty little bastards, pretty little flowers. Okay, look at that long floral tube, too. So that's the ovary right there. That'll be the fruit. So, anyway, lots of cool Zeltneras out there. And, again, they do have those weird anthers that some members of the Gentian family get. Look at it. Why did they do that? Why do you do that curly-Q thing? Well, I got to work on my Q. Maybe I should go get a fucking manicure later. Look at my nails. I got some... What is it? They're drying out. Don't use enough lotion. Look at this dainty little mint. Look, it's a Hedioma. Hedioma is the genus. A genus of, well, dainty-ass little mints. See, you get all those trichomes on a calyx. And a beautiful shape to that labium. To that lower lip petal. And, of course, you get that pink style poking out. As well as those 2 white anthers on those 2 stamens. And opposite leaves. And yeah, it's got a nice smell to it, like many of the mints do. Lamiaceae is the family right there. Nice piece of trash. Oh, it's a hardy piece of aluminum back there. Now to the landscape of our target plant in the feature of this episode. As we traverse across the undulating limestone hills of the Edwards Plateau, also known as the Texas Hill Country, we realize that we are standing atop early Cretaceous limestone from roughly 110 million years ago. This is a landscape dominated by junipers, shrub oaks, Texas persimmons, and way too many goddamn cattle. As the water tables continue to drop precipitously, we can still see the remnants of the ancient reefs and calcareous organisms that formed the substrate responsible for so many of these things. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to show you the landscape, okay? It does look nice. Look, I got this fucking drone, okay? Had to take a policy out of it. Already crashed the fucking thing once, okay? But I still got some nice money shots. All right, let's keep going. So here we are in Texas Hill Country. You can see the limestone everywhere, the undulating hills, Juniperaceae, various oaks, some mesquites. The mesquites here don't get too big, see, because they're starting to dry out. Down in South Texas, they get 30 feet tall. Same species here, tops out at about 4 or 5 feet, unless it's growing in a wash or something. Got a bunch of prickly pear, opuntia, and all that limestone. You know, to many people, this might seem boring. To me, there's a lot of good stuff here. I love it. But more importantly, the plant I'm about to show you is possibly one of the weirdest plants in North America, and it's also quite rare. So let's check it out. Okay, look at that beautiful escarpment of limestone right here. Okay, so you know, this plant right here is it's not flowering. It's a member of the genus Dahlia, and you know, it smells good. It's in Tribomorphae of the pea family, so it's got those glands on it, and the glands are what make it smell nice. Okay. Now, this unto itself is a beautiful plant, especially when it's flowering. You know, you got pink and purple and yellow little pea flowers with the fuzzy calyces and shit like most dahlias have. You know, great for pollinators. Smells good. But this isn't the plant I want to show you. This is actually a host plant for one of the weirdest fucking parasites in North America. And that parasite is right there. This is Pilostyles thurberi. And look at that. You could see no chlorophyll. Those are just the flowers. Pilostyles thurberi is an endoparasite. So it spends its entire life, except for when it's in, you know, seed form, when it's in a fruit, it spends its entire life living inside the host plant. And all of its host plants, all the host plants for Pilostyles thurberi are peas, specifically in Tribomorphae of the Faboideae subfamily of the pea family Fabaceae. And so those, what you see there, those are just those red calyces, and then we'll take a look at the flowers here. If individual flowers, if individual plants are either male or female, since the species is dioecious, what the shit is this? Is that a male or a female? I'm going to go with male because I see a little bit of yellow on there. And remember, it's Cucurbitales, so they got quote-unquote non-traditional anthers, non-traditional stamens. So they don't got a filament. It's just, you know, like a look at that nice paper cut I got. It's more like a you know, like a cucumber. Think of like a squash anther. Look at squash flowers, you prick. The squash are monoecious. They got male and female on the same plant, but unisexual flowers. But smells incredible though. Smells so pleasant. I love the smell of this. Very fragrant. Plants are dioecious. I don't know why this was put in Rafflesiaceae. It's quite obviously related to squashes. Okay, and it is. It's Cucurbitales. What you're looking at right there, that flower, I peeled the petals and the sepals back. That's a male flower. Just like squash stamens, you don't have filaments. You just got them kind of, you know, the anthers are adnate to that little column, that little rod, and circle around it. All right, so that right there is a male. Let's look what the female looks like. Okay, let's check out the gynoecium. Yeah, there you go. See, a swollenovary.com, a lot more swollen at the base. And this one, the ovaries actually ripped open by accident when I was taking the petals off. And if you get close up, you could see the tiny white ovules inside. You can't see them right now. I can't zoom in any closer. I'll put a little photo up later. But look at it, the seeds. And they are tiny. They're immature and they're white, but they're tiny. So what does the fruit look like, and how's the fruit get dispersed? What a weird goddamn plant, huh? What do you think about that? Just coming up here with the Diosporos, the Texas persimmon, and the limestone. See, there's the Texas persimmon right there. The Eisenhardtia, you got Eisenhardtia over there. The Juniperus Ashii, I think it's Ashii. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, typical West Texas, you know, landscape. Doesn't look too fascinating until you get up close and you see Pilostyles, member of a lineage that occurs all over the goddamn world. That's an endoparasite. Such a cool phenomenon. How does something like this evolve? I can't get over how weird this thing is. It's, you know, Pilostyles. Sounds like a drag queen name. That could be Pilostyles, like a drag queen rapper. That could be that's, you know, I didn't copyright that if someone wants to take that. See, so let's look at this plant actually, because these flowers are further along. So you could see, here we go. The flowers, of course, this being a dry environment, they're flowering closer to the stem to get a little bit of shade, to get a little bit of cover. Ooh, you got a pollinator on there. You actually have a little skipper pollinating those. There you go. There's the actual flowers of Pilostyles. Got a couple pollinators on there. This is probably one of the weirdest plants that I've seen in North America. Okay? It lives its entire life, 99% of its life, inside the host plant here. And, you know, it's Dahlia is the host plant here. It also grows in the genus Sorothamnus in the Mojave Desert. It basically ranges northwestern Mexico and southwestern United States. I believe this is the furthest east that occurs here, right in central Texas. I mean, this is, I can't explain to you where it is. The genus Pilostyles was thought to be related to Rafflesia, which is another extremely bizarre flower. One of the largest flowers in the floral kingdom, como se dice. That's kind of a corny word. I don't think I'd like to say it. Floral kingdom. It's dumb shit. I want you to smack me if I ever say that again. Anyway, one of the largest plant genera, flowers, you know, what the fuck am I doing? One of the largest flowers that Rafflesia, and that grows in the Philippines. It's also a parasite. But it turns out that Pilostyles is not related to that. It's not related to Rafflesia, and it's not in the family Rafflesiaceae. This is in the family Apodanthaceae. And again, Pilostyles has quite a few species in it. You get Pilostyles in Australia. You get Pilostyles in Mexico. You get Pilostyles in South America. I mean, there you go. Just to catch it in full frontal flower right there. And even see the pollinators. Now, look at that guy. Look at that guy back there. See that? What's he doing over there? You see him in there? Where'd he go? These little skippers are pollinating this thing. How about that? These butterflies are going nuts. You know, they're flying around the dahlia, but there's no dahlia flowers. Dahlia already flowered. There we go. We'll get rid of some of those harsh shadows. Yeah, so these little butterflies. Oh, look, the fly's going in there too. He's getting it too. Oh no, that's a bee. I'm sorry. Is he gonna get mad that I called him a? Is he gonna get mad I called him a fly? I'm sorry, there, guy. Look at it. I can smell these flowers from here. They've got a very pleasant scent to them. So they're obviously doing a good job of getting pollinators in there. And then who disperses the fruits? Is it birds? Look at it. What a fucking weird plant. God, and there's quite a few species of Pilostyles. How old is it evolutionarily? When did it evolve? How did it disperse? How did it get around? Is it just a remnant from when all the continents were closer together, or we got some dispersal agent, some animal or bird, we got some animal that was flying around dispersing it. You know, you got to check GenBank for the DNA sequences of these, because you can go to GenBank and then run a blast sequence and see how closely related all these are. And that's nice. I should try explaining that to them at the Creation Museum in Central Texas next time I go there. God, that's a depressing fucking place. Look at that. What an incredible plant. And it doesn't seem to be harming the host plant either. Okay? The host plant seems to be tolerating it. Oh, yeah, there you go. He's going in there. He's doing it. Yeah, you know, I should have checked GenBank for that. You go to GenBank, you type in a species name, you know, you get a list of accessions that have been sequenced, and it'll tell you what gene sequence was run on it. And then you go to the right column and you click blast, run blast, and you can build a tree. You can build a phylogeny and see what other species Pilostyles thurberi is related to, and maybe even what the closest genera, what the closest other genus is to it. I'm just rambling now, just trying to give you money shots today. Look at it. What a fucking weird plant. What a cool plant. So just this little stretch of road has the dahlias on it. Maybe 50 plants total. About 4 of them are infected. This plant right here is in the genus Eisenhardtia. This is Eisenhardtia texana. It's in the same tribe as the dahlias, but it doesn't seem, I haven't seen any of these infected. I mean, I guess you would think that since it's so closely related to Dahlia, it would be, you know, a possible host plant for the Pilostyles, for the Pilostyles, but I don't see any. But the foliage sure does smell good, because again, Tribomorphae, it's got those glands in it. Woo! It smells kind of citrusy. Does that got? I can't see. Do we got a? Maybe. Oh, I see some dimpling on those stems down there. Maybe the flowers just haven't emerged yet. Oh, there we go. About 100 feet down from the population I just showed you, and you got another plant infected. It's so remarkable to see this many infected plants in a population. Normally, like if you're in a Mojave, you'll find Pilostyles, and a host plant will be everywhere, but you only find 1 infected plant, maybe 2. This I've seen like 5. So maybe this Dahlia is a very good host for it. I guess it's pretty easy for it to infect it. You know, but again, how long does it take for the plant to flower once the seed germinates? What disperses the seed? How does the seed germinate? Does it have like a little sticky glue to it, like a lot of mistletoes do? Where, you know, a bird shits it out, it just lands on the stem, germinates, then infects the vascular tissue? How far into the vascular tissue does it go? Does it go into the roots, or does it just hang out in that little section of stem? Is it of any detriment to the plant, to the host? It doesn't look like it. Host seems to be doing fine. These are vigorous, robust plants. You know, I don't see any dieback. I don't see any dead branches. You know, so little is known about this. That's why we need more people studying botany. You know, instead of going into like finance or some shit. But no offense if you did do that. But I will say, if you're a fucking salesman, I probably got a beef with you. I met a lot of fucking sleazebag salesmen peddling bullshit, figuratively and literally, the American way. Shit, I was calling this Dahlia Formosa. This is Dahlia Vertescence. Got the two confused. There's no flowers on it though, you know. I've been fucking misspeaking for the last 10 minutes, but anyway, whatever. Dahlia Vertescence, ubiquitous throughout Texas. A shrubby dahlia. Some dahlias are herbaceous. They only get 6 inches tall. Some get upwards of 5 feet tall, you know, down in northern Mexico. But this guy, you know, tops out about 2 feet. Dainty little foliage too. Does smell nice though. The foliage does smell nice though, because you got those glands. Look at it. These butterflies, these little skippers, are going deep. So yeah, about 10 species in the genus Pilostyles, Pilostyles, Pilostyles. Miss Aurora Styles, famous drag queen from Aunt Charlie's Lounge. Back when I used to drink, they used to make the filthiest fucking, you walk out of there hammered. I walked out of there hammered once and tried to bike across the Bay Bridge. I only made it to Treasure Island before the cops threatened to arrest me. They let me go though, but they really, I think they just didn't want to deal with it because they had bigger shit to worry about. But anyway, they did threaten to arrest me and said, "Sir, you're very drunk. We will beat your ass and throw you in a can for the weekend." And I think it was Martin Luther King Day too, so they weren't gonna. They're like, you wouldn't get out for at least 4 days. And so I didn't. I'm not a big fan of going to jail, and so I declined their offer, and instead got a ride from a really butch tow truck driver to take me home, who told me that I obviously didn't care about my life. At that point, maybe she was a little right. Anyway, 10 species in the genus Pilostyles, and it's actually in the order of cucumbers, Cucurbitales, which will maybe blow your mind a little bit. And this is all, nobody knew that until they looked at the genetic sequences. So again, we got that DNA. We can amplify DNA with PCR and get a closer look at how some of this stuff evolved and what else it's related to. Look at these guys, they don't even care that I'm here. They're in my shade and everything. They don't even give a shit that I'm here. Look at it. It must be good. Anyway, this is the main plant I wanted to show you. It's one of the weirdest fucking plants in North America, and it is so utterly cool. This is the type of stuff that just really can get people hooked on botany and just life in general. All right? It's such a nice reprieve from the bleakness in the strip malls and the fucking, the driving everywhere, isolated from each other in your cars, slowly dying on the inside, and slowly dying physically too, maybe from poor diet and the sedentary lifestyle. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Jack's getting mad at me because the day's starting to heat up. Go fuck yourself. Bye.
Look at that pseudolithos, a weird relative of milkweeds. A really, really weird relative of milkweeds that resembles a stone and puts out flowers that smell like absolute hell. One of the Stapeliads. They're related to Stapelia. You know that genus Stapelia? The carrion flower. Look at those little weird appendages on the end of those. Oh, look at it. Look at those petals covered in the trichomes, and then you got the ends of them with the little tassels. What's the adaptive benefit of that? What are we trying to mimic here, huh? Obviously fly pollinated, but what are we trying to mimic? Weird texture to that stem. Little tubercles look like little genital warts.